Campbell.
We did it.
You like my red shirt?
Yeah.
It means I'm serious about today. Serious. I am serious about today. Let me tell you what's on my mind. Can I tell you what's on my mind? How are you doing, first of all? Let me ask you that question.
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yes.
You good?
I am.
Cool. All right. Here we go. Ready? No, I hit that button. That button is supposed to go to show you my main screen, but it's not working. So let's go figure out why you can't see my main screen on that. Let me see if I can see your screen. Ooh, cool. We can see your screen. We just can't see mine. Let's try something here. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Interesting. So it's there, and why isn't it? Why don't we see it here? Is it because, I think I know what it is. Hold on a second. Try that button. There we go. All right, better. All right, I'll tell you what's on my mind. I'm thinking about two things for today's show. I'm thinking about this interface that we've got. Do you have the app running? Can you start it up? It's Campbell's machine. Give it a start for me. This app that we've got that can show stock prices and allow you to select a range. That part of it, this inner piece that does just that. I think we're going to need that in multiple places. I think we're going to need, for example, to say, okay, I'm going to select a range, and that range is going to be my test case, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
We need to be able to collect data. Once we have the data, we need to be able to do something with the data and say, hey, I want my test case to look at this point. And so I need to highlight that. And then we're going to have a test case generator that's going to say, okay, let's go get that data point. Or I might say, I want to get this selection and look at this in my test case. And I might want to, as we get better at it, we might want to say, I want to look at this as a buy signal. I'm expecting to get a buy signal here, or I'm expecting to get a sell signal here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We have to test. We have to be able to, so what that means is that when we build our user interface that's going to help us build test cases, we're going to need to have a UI that's just like the one we already have. And I don't want to build a second form and then duplicate all this code and put it in that second form. Do you understand why I don't want to do that?
Yes, but
why do I have such an aversion to duplicating code? Why am I so worried about that?
Then if we wanted to change it later, we'd have to change it in both places.
To change it in both places, and it gets harder to maintain. Your cognitive load goes higher. If you have to do twice the work or 3 times the work because you copied it in 3 places, as you normally would have to do, your cognitive load goes up. And if your cognitive load goes up, you do a poor quality job maintaining the code, which means you're more likely to add bugs. Why am I nervous? Because I don't like bugs. Right? Yeah. And I especially don't like bugs if we're going to put our money on the line, if we're going to write code and then bet our money on it, which is essentially what we're kind of headed towards here. Okay? So what I need is I need a control that I can drop on a form that then I can just send some data to or give it some information, and then it starts just doing this. Right? It starts filling it out or can show me the data. You on board with that?
Yeah.
And maybe include hinting as well. All of that, okay? So that's what I want to do. I want to build a control. So the downside is we've already done this work inside this Windows form, and we're going to have to move it to another place to turn it into a control. Okay?
Why aren't the moving averages appearing?
I don't know. That's a great question. Why aren't the moving averages appearing? Let's go figure that out. think I commented them out, as I'm now recalling. I'm scrolling because I think visually I'll spot it.
Yeah.
These are the moving analysis. This is draw analysis charts right here. Are we getting in this point? We are. Okay. Clearing the canvas, creating that. Ooh, get moving average is returning back 0. We need test cases. Let's go figure out why that's the case. We must have made a change here yesterday. Set a breakpoint in here.
Well, we did switch it to custom tick. I'm not sure if that affected this.
Yeah, we did do that. We changed this. Get points around time. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's our problem, I think. I bet that's our problem because that's what recently changed. Let's run it. And is there 0? Oh, there's 3 in there. That works. It's just that maybe we have so few points, so little data. Get average price goes way down though. Why is the average price so, it's essentially min value. Let's go in and figure that out. Why is get average price coming back so low? Points and span, stock data point. Okay, we got the first one. Total weight is 0. Its weight is 0.
Oh.
Our weights are 0. Because I took away my default initialization for weight. That's what broke it. I'm pretty sure that's it. So we can't change, we can't make this change here, but we can make the change here. Wait. We can do that, and we can do that. So we make those 2 changes. And now if we continue to run, I think with a little bit of time. So those all have a weights of 0, but if we get more in, there you go. See it? That confirms that that was our bug.
All right.
Cool. So that would be a test case we want to add. Make sure the weight is 1. If we're going to continue to use weight, but I am under the belief, I talked about this last time, Campbell, I'm under the belief that our weights are the wrong way to calculate it. And you just made a gesture with your hand. I think you were talking about this diagram. This is the right way to do it, I think. We are calculating incorrectly. I was not thinking deeply or clearly enough about the problem. So we need to head in that direction to do that, to do the weights. So we got a couple options in front of us. We got create a list amount. That's what we can work on today. You get to decide what we're going to do. Create a custom user control to hold the data. Well, to show the data, to visualize the data and allow selections to be used in the main window and also in our test case generator that I'm envisioning. Test case generator. By the way, Campbell, there's a theme that's been happening on this show that you may have noticed, that I will guide us, I will lead us, I will say this is the way to go. And when I do that, it's along the lines of, hey, let's invest. Donkey Konga is now following. Donkey Konga, thank you for that follow. And I want to invest. The tendency I have is this. It is invest in tooling that will make us that will, and there's a couple things here, make our code more reliable, make us faster at the things we do a lot of. Do you remember examples of this?
In this code or just in code?
In our show. Things that we've done where we have invested in making us faster at doing other things, where we've written code to help us write code.
The Reg Explorer.
Yeah, the Reg Explorer tool we built is one example of this.
The super calc in a way, the super number.
The super number, in a way, also was helpful in terms of building our super calculator, right? And it contained I think we had a to_num extension that could be used for strings. So our test cases were shorter and easier to read. Remember we built that?
Yes.
Were shorter and easier to read. And we built for the Reg Explorer tool. Wait. There was something else.
We built the number regex thing that could display any number, basically.
Right. We did that. And there's something else in super number. We built a test case generator here. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
If we saw something wrong, we could say generate test case, and then it would build us that. So we've already invested in tooling, like here and here and here. We've already invested in tooling so far in the show that says basically, hey, if you guys are gonna do something a lot, then we're gonna make it easier to do that thing you're gonna do a lot of.
Yes.
Okay, so this has been our history up to this point. And I just want to note that because we are going to keep going in this path. And the reason why is because what happens is, so like for the other part of the show, I'm creating tooling to help me build spell effects, right? For casting spells. Hey Donkey Konga, hello. I want to be able to create spell effects for Dungeons and Dragons die rolls. And there are about 200 known spells that come with Dungeons and Dragons. It's a lot of spell effects. So I want the tooling to be able to create spell effects to be fast and easy.
Yeah.
Right? So I invest in that. And I might spend weeks getting that right so that I can just effortlessly crank out, the spell effects or whatever. And so what we're going to do today, so one of the things we're talking about is create a custom control, because that's going to help us out. We got a lot of places we can use that. That'll save us some duplicated work. Another aspect we can do is we can work on creating some test cases today.
Yes.
Right? We've already seen a problem with weight. We want to confirm weight initialization and saving and loading. Saving loading of data, of stock data. One of the advantages of creating test cases is we can start to get an idea of what a stock data test case is going to look like. And if we start to get an idea of what the test case looks like, then we can start to get an idea of what our code generator is going to need to do. Our test case code generator is going to need to do. Back to your machine, let me show you something. I've already got in my mind, I think that we're going to say, okay, select this data, create a test case, a window is going to come up, and it's going to hold just the data we selected. That's going to use that custom control.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm going to be able to say, all right, I'm going to be able to click a point. I click it, and it's going to say, here's a point. And I'm going to say, I want to work with this point. And maybe it'll ask me what variable name. and I'll say, let's call that, low. And then I'll click on this point, and I'll begin being able to type in a variable name, and I'll hit enter. And what it's doing is it's just going to, I'll be able to click a couple points, and then it'll grab those
and create variables for them, or
in the variables for them in the test case generator. And then when I paste in, and then when I'm done, I'll hit copy to clipboard. It'll close the dialog. I'll go to my code, paste in the code, and then I'll write just a 1 or 2 lines of code to work with that data. And what it'll do is it'll save all the data out, give it a unique file name. It'll then, the test case will load that data up. And then it'll initialize the variables, and all I need to do is write a little bit of code. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, you got your head wrapped around that?
Yes.
So we can create a custom user control. We can create some test cases today where we just start looking at this, and we can work with files and things like that. I'm not sure if there's another thing. We could do something else too if you want to do something different. But what are your thoughts on these options?
I think we definitely need to get the test cases done sooner rather than later.
Okay, then that's what we do.
And but also the custom user control seems important, but I think we should do the test cases first.
Okay, let's do the test case. All right, so
if we have extra time.
All right, cool. All right, so let's go to the code for a second. We've got a button on the main form that does this. Test selection click. Right there.
Yes.
Click it, we get down here. Currently what it's doing is this, it says, all right, well, let's get the points in range. Oh, we didn't get any points in range because there was no selection. I have to select something first. So select something and then
test
click
selection.
it. And now this time we should get a selection exists. True. Points in range, got 35 of them. Serialized object turns it into a string. Remember this code from yesterday? JSON convert serialized object. We're getting the folder path. And I think at this point, after I get the folder path, I want to do something like this. Hey, if, you know what I want to do? Hold on. See this right here? System.o.file. See that? See this environment? Environment doesn't have something in front of it. But environment is also in a namespace. It's just in system. In other words, I can still get to us if I typed in system.environment. See that? See how this one's grayed out and this one is not? That means that this one is already used up at the top. Somewhere in here I've got using system. Geez, I had it on my screen the whole time. Sorry about that, guys. Using system right there. See it?
Yes.
I cannot add system.io while I'm debugging. I cannot add a using statement to newtonsoft.json while I'm debugging. I have to stop the app.
Why? Can't you just use the SAML hot reload, I think it's called?
Yeah, that doesn't work with C# code. It only works with XAML code.
Oh.
So so edit and continue has other limitations, and that's one of its limitations. So if I want to clean this code up, and I kind of do, before we are working here, I kind of need to stop the app. Because I've got this, and all I really need is to have a file there. If I were able to add system.io.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'm gonna, with your permission, I'm gonna stop the app.
Totally.
Okay, and stop the app, and now that I've stopped it, go ahead and hit the code rush key right there. And remove all type qualifiers. Choose that. And that'll get rid of, everything for file. Do it again for here. No? Oh, path might exist in 2 places. Path is going to be an ambiguous reference. Ambiguous means there's 2 different ways of interpreting it. There's a path inside of 2 different places. So we need to specify system.io path there. Here we can do it again though here. Go ahead and hit the code rush key there and remove all type qualifiers. Good. And then they got rid of all of those. Cool. So now we've cleaned this up a little bit better. So folder path gets me the path to where the application data folder is. But what I want to do is I want to create a directory inside of that.
Wait. What?
You can also ask me, why do you want to create a directory inside of the application data folder?
Yeah. Why do you want to create?
Like, why would you want to do that, Dan? Do you have any sense at all? You can really push hard on the question if you want.
I don't know why. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so the reason I want to do it is for organizational purposes. If we just stick everything in application data, that's where all of your settings are for all your different apps. And each app typically has its own folder there anyway. So what I want to do is create a folder there if it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And then maybe inside that I want to create another folder for our test data. So one is for our application. We can put settings there if we want. And then inside of that I want to put another one for our test case data. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so to do that, I want to say, okay, this is my folder path. I'm going to use system.io path combine right here. And this is going to just add things to it. Because I'm not a big fan of all of this right here, Campbell, I think I'm going to extract a method here. I'm going to call this combine path. The path combine. Maybe just combine. I'll do it like that. I want to grab one of these pieces inside here. And I want to promote that to a parameter. Can you go select promote to parameter for me? Good. And then what is this called down here? What is that parameter? It's just called path 2. So this is called path 1.
Wait. Inside of a method, you're calling that same method. Won't it just do that infinitely?
Yeah, look at that. That's a great question. It's going to be path 2.
You're not. Okay, it's a.
This combine, if we drill into it by hitting F12, it takes us over here into what's called metadata. It's gone into the DLL. It says, hey, what do you got in there? It says, oh, I got a method called combine. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's what's going on there. So I can say combine like that. And I can even come in and give it like one more, like a path 3, but I'll initialize that to an empty string like that. And then I'll say, hey, if this is if it's got something in it, so I'll use is null or white space like that. So if it's nothing in it, I'll just return that. Otherwise, I'm going to return, Otherwise, I'm going to return the one with 3 in it. Okay? So now what's cool about this combine is now what I can do is I can come in here and I can say, all right, whatever I want, I can build this up a piece at a time. So this may be the full path to the file, but what I want to do now is I want to say, I want to create a new string called my application path. And that's going to be equal to combine folder path, comma, and then we want to give the folder name for this app. What do we call this? Stock trader? Stock data? What do you want? Bot trader? Trader bot? Trader Bows?
Stock trader.
Trader Botos? Trader Joe's? Wait, what are we saying it? Stock trader?
Yeah, stock trader.
Okay, so we call it stock trader. All right, cool. So now I've got a full path to a folder called stock trader, but the folder doesn't exist yet. If we try to write anything out there, we'll get an error. This folder doesn't exist. So what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to say, hey, if system.io.path, is it .exists? Nope. There's another thing called directory.exists. Okay. Now because there's with path we have to put system.io in front of it. But with directory, even though it's in the same IO, we don't, because there's no ambiguity with directory. Ambiguity means I've got 2 classes called path and 2 different DLLs that I'm using. But I don't with here, so I can get rid of this. So I can say, hey.
Yeah, but we couldn't do that with path because it was used in multiple places, from multiple places.
Yeah, exactly. So if the directory doesn't exist, then I want to come down and call directory, probably create. I bet I've got to create directory. There it is right there. And then I'm going to give it my application path. Okay? Got it? That's going to create a folder called Stock Trader. Now I'm going to do one more in here. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, well, let's do this. Another one. We're going to have this our test case folder. That's going to be equal to, I'm going to call combine again. And now I'm going to pass in my application path with the name of the test case folder. What do we want to do there? What do we want to call the test cases folder?
Just the test case folder. Is that,
How about test cases?
Yep.
Because it's already a folder if we
That's
look at it.
true.
We can see that. Okay. Next. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Next, I want to say, hey, if the test case folder doesn't exist, then I want to create that as well. I got kind of a challenging question for you. So I could put this here and it would still work. Why do I want to put it here? It's kind of a really challenging question. And it's okay if you don't know, because if you don't know in like a couple seconds, it's probably not going to occur to you for a while.
Wait, can
And the
So
only code-
here, where the difference between making it here, and
there.
below.
Yeah. They'll both work. But why did I decide to put it here?
I'm not sure.
And I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, oh, because I made a mistake. It actually doesn't, it should not go there. It's actually wrong. I was thinking something else. And so that was not a good idea. All right. So good. I've just now created a test for myself and I solved my own puzzle. I love when I do that. So, all right. So yeah, what I was thinking is, well, it really is more where it needs to be is, I guess what I was really thinking was this, right? So if the directory doesn't exist,
To applicate.
well, no, that doesn't work either. Yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking anything. This is a bad day for me. I think you should be careful about anything I say today, Campbell.
Okay.
All right, that's, I think, the lesson we're going to say. So basically this, hey, if the directory doesn't exist, create the directory. If the directory doesn't exist, create the directory. Okay? Are we good with all of that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time to create a new project. This is going to be a class library. Go ahead and, there you go right there. Go ahead and click on that. Go through the steps to do this.
And what is this for?
This is going to be our, I think I want to call it our bot trader core is what I want to call it. But I need to get it in the right folder. Is this the folder where, yeah, this looks like it is the folder, bot trader core. So let's try that. All right, click create on that. I think we're in the right folder. Should be. Inside bot trader core, I want to create a new class. I want this to be a static class. So in coders, to just create a class, use C, right?
Yeah.
But to create a static class, it looks a little different. You use an uppercase C to do static. So anytime you want a static method or static anything, it's uppercase letter.
Oh.
Okay, and it looks a little different. It's a little bit different. You got the word static in there, and you have a static constructor. There's no regular constructor because we cannot create an instance of a static class.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can call this folders. I want to create something to track our folders so that both our test cases can get the right folder and our main app can get the right folder. So call this folders. Good. All right, next, let's go back up here, get some of that code. We're trying to get this code that we're putting in here and we want not so much code in the main window, right? My main window's got things that are checking to see if lists of stock data points are the same. Wrong place for that, right? It just bloats up the code, makes the code harder to read in here. Our goal is we want code easier to read. Okay, that's what we want. We've got this combine method. Guess where that should go? Not here. Okay, combine should go probably out in our folders folder. Now the cool thing about that, by the way, is when we move out to our folder class and we add combine in here, I guess I'll keep it private, but when we add it, we actually don't need the system IO path here, because down here, we can only see what we use up here, and we're not going to see the WPF class that's a path. And so this can all go away here. We can remove all type qualifiers there, and it's all sweet and cool. In fact, kind of the more you have to do to make the code easier to read, the greater the smell is that there's a better way to do this, right? You can get it out into its own file, move things to its own file. So I've now got combine down here. I've broken code up here, but that's okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do instead up here, so I'm going to copy this code. Actually, I need all the way to here. I'm going to take all of that out of here. Yeah, I'm going to take all of that out of here. We'll deal with this error for now. We'll let it stay in here. We're going to come back over here into folders. And I think we're going to do it in the static constructor. So the first time somebody references this class, this code will execute. So we're going to get the folder path. We're going to get the application path. Like that. I'm going to widen scope, promote to field. Like that. I'm going to do the same here. Why don't you do it? Widen scope, promote to field.
And what does this?
It takes a local variable and turns it into a field variable.
Okay.
And you can choose where you want to put it. Good. Let me undo that in a second. I'm going to split it first, and now I'm going to do widen scope, promote to field. Go ahead and do it again, right there. Because I don't want the initialization to happen up there with it yet. Go ahead and paste it in there. Yeah, go ahead and enter that. Yeah, okay. So now we've got the application path, the test case folder, and now we make sure the directories exist. So all of that's going to happen when we first run this the first time and we first access folders and do a combine. Then we can come in and say, we can come up here and do, see this encapsulate field? This one?
Yeah.
It's going to put a property wrapper around that so we can access it. So if I choose that, it builds this for me. So now I've got something, this is private, and this is public. And I don't want anybody to really set it, I think. That's what I want right there. And I want something similar for application path. And I want it to grab application path back. Okay, so that's folders. Now that's cool. We've got a dedicated class, Bot Trader Core. When you add a reference to Bot Trader Core, you need to right click there and find Bot Trader Core and add it as a reference. It's a project reference. Yep, there it is right there. You'll need to check the box before you click OK. There you go. Good. Now you've added a reference to it. So now Stock Analysis can see Bot Trader Core. That's the namespace that folders is in, which means you need to add a using statement like these up here, but not here. You need to use it, add it over here in main window. Can you do that?
Oh, so that, okay.
So that we can see it. If you shift enter on this, it'll help you out. And then it's just bot trader core. Start typing in BOT. There it is. Because we've already added a reference, it suggests it. So there you go, you're done there. Let's go down to the error down at the bottom of the file, or near the bottom of the file, I think. Control N, I think will get you down there. All right, here we go. So we're on path.combine, full path to file. I think what I want to do here is I want to do this. I want to say folders. Wait,
if we made Bot Trader Core a static class or folders, because we're using Bot Trader Core, not full. Okay.
Right, Bot Trader Core is the namespace.
It just holds folders.
So all of these are lists of namespaces. And I could even have a namespace with a dot in it. So I could come over here and I could call this really bottradercore.fileAccess if I wanted to. And if I wanted to now see folders, I would need to come over here and do that. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And then down here, I could type in folders and it would see it. See it? Right there?
Yeah.
But let's say I didn't do that. So I just said I'm going to use Bot Trader Core like that. Well, it can't find folders, but it can find that. So what I could do is I could use fileAccess.folders. And it highlights it a little differently to indicate that it's a namespace.
Yeah, okay.
At least I think it is. Oh wait, that didn't work. Is fileAccess somewhere else? It's somewhere else. That's why we have to do it this way. Okay. But anyway, now
just like path, it's in two places.
Yeah. It's in two places, so it's ambiguity there. All right. So that's how we can do it. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back over here. I'm gonna clean that up. So now we just got Bot Trader Core and folders. And now look at what we're doing. We're combining the folder path, right? Whatever here like this. What I want to do is I want to say get file full path, maybe get file path, and I'm going to pass in testfile.json.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh.
And then can you declare that for me? Remember, control left and right arrow are going to get you there faster. Practice those. All right, and now here we're going to just return, hit an R space to get a return going here. And then paste application path, I think is what we're calling it now. Application path, and then stir goes here. So it's going to combine those two. Let's rename this to file name. Does that make sense, what we're going to do? So we've kind of taken, this heavy, gross code, and we've taken it out of main window. Now, the cool thing about this, Campbell, is that when the time comes for us to create that custom control, we're going to have less code in main window to have to go look through and figure out what we do with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This organizational step, by saying I want to create test cases first, you've unwittingly got us on the right path. Or maybe wittingly. You totally knew all of this was going to unfold.
I completely planned all of this.
You planned all of this? Mm-hmm. Sweet. All right.
Even back when we were first writing this code, I was like, ooh, later I'm going to trick Dad into refactoring this.
All right, fine. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call this test file 2. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go up and get inside your app data. Here we've already got test file JSON out here. Open file location. And so right here is our file location right now. And there's the test file JSON. If we run the app, let's see if we can run it.
That was the notepad, right, that we were using?
Yeah, we brought that up in Notepad is what I think we did. We can also open it up here though. There it is right there. Cool, and it syntax highlights it here. So better to open it in Visual Studio. See it? Mm-hmm. That's the last data we saved out. But it depends on our selection, right? What's selected. Here's some data coming in right now. This is live data coming from Bitcoin. This is from Bittrex. Looking for a change in price. Somebody buy or sell their Bitcoin, please, so that we can see a change in price. Donkey Konga, can you please do us a favor and buy or sell some Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Donkey Konga.
Donkey Konga bought some. Okay, great. So let's hit test selection. Now, you can step through it if you want. You can run it if you want. There are all kinds of things that you can choose to do here. Got 2 points in the range. See it, Campbell?
Yeah.
There's the serialization. There's the string. Full path to file. Check it out. There it is. Roaming stock trader. Test file 2.json. Reads from the string. Do they look alike? They do.
Uh-huh.
And then they're going to check our equals, and it worked. All right, cool. Hit run. Go ahead and hit run. Now, what we want to do is we want to check the folder and see if it's there. So now we're looking for bot trader. I don't see it, but I'm going to hit refresh. And I still don't see it. Oh, it's stock trader, not bot trader.
Oh,
it's right there. I could have found it too by clicking this right up here, the header. See, it's up at the top because it's date modified. This is a great tip for Windows, by the way. I do this all the time. What's the most recent thing I've changed or done here? So go ahead and open that up and see what you see inside stock trader. Test file 2 and test cases. Right? So we've got all of our folders have been created for us. They didn't exist before. Now they're created. You can double click on test file 2, open it in Visual Studio, and you can see there's the 2 different pieces. Cool?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Super cool.
How many times did this price come in with no change?
22.
Yeah. I'm still not convinced that this thing we're doing with weight is the right way to go. I'm almost thinking maybe we keep the data. Unless all of these, the only reason if all of these were the same, but I think what's happening in reality is these are changing. But because we were only graphing these, Campbell,
yeah,
I was like, yeah, let's discard this other stuff. I was only checking to see if this was the same. Yeah, 22 times that came in. Interesting. Okay, good. So our test cases still work, or this test case still works. Okay. This R equals the stock data point. This is something we're going to want to build test cases around. This needs to go down to the core. The test case will use the core, but it won't use the main app.
How?
It just will add a reference from it, so it'll only know about the core. So create a test project that only tests the core, and it's really beautiful and sweet when you do that. So you in the process of creating and architecting your application, your test cases, if you have test cases that only work on the core, and then it stops you from trying to create a tight coupling between something high and something low. Like one of the things we could do is we could say, well, let's pass my canvas down and draw on it, which we've done here a couple episodes ago. We did it. And at the time I was like, right? If you create an architecture like this, you cannot do that. Because what happens is it's like, well, wait, you're throwing a WPF canvas at me? I don't know anything about that, and you get errors. So it's a good way to go. So stock data point, we need to move this. So let's stop the app. Let's start doing a little bit of refactoring here for our test cases here. Okay, let's go find stock data point. Where is it? There. So if you drag it in here and hold the shift key down, notice the plus goes away when I type the shift key. I want you to do the same thing. Just click it and drag it. You can also right click if you want to cancel while you're dragging.
This one?
Yep. Click it and drag it all the way up into Bot Trader Core. And hold the shift key down so it says move, the plus goes away. Now it'll move it. And then now, good. And it's Dropbox says delete it. Yeah, go ahead, delete it everywhere. That's fine. Because we've got it over here now. But see the namespace? the file's still the same. We need to change this namespace. Can you change that for me?
Yeah.
You know what you want to change that to? No, don't do a rename. Hold on. Don't do a rename because it will rename it everywhere up and down.
Oh, right. Okay.
What we want to do instead is just come over here, copy that,
Oh.
and then go back and paste it in over.
Okay.
This is, yeah, this is a good thing. All right, go ahead, double click that, paste it in. Okay, good. Now, a couple things don't work. It doesn't know what custom tick is. See custom tick?
Yeah. Oh. Because this isn't in.
Slight problem with custom tick. If we move custom tick down, we're going to have to move Bittrex tick down. I'm going to say we do it. We do it. We're going to have to add a same reference to the crypto exchange and all of those things down here. That's okay for our core to have references to the crypto exchange. So anyway, we need to move this down into BotTrader core as well. Can you do that for me?
Custom tick, right?
Mm-hmm. Shift key so it doesn't copy. All right. Good. Double click on custom tick. Change stock analysis. There you go. Good. Good. Okay. Got a couple references to Newtonsoft. See that? The JSON? We were talking about that. Remember the JSON JSON property attribute? It allowed us to rename. So instead of storing it out as lowest ask price, it just stored it in the file as ask. All right. So what I want to do is we want to add Newtonsoft. So to do this, go to your solution and right-click your solution up over there in the Solution Explorer. And you want to choose NuGet Package Manager, I think. Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. It's up a little bit more. There it is. Choose that. Click on Installed so we can see what's installed. These are what's installed. Now, see that one? Click there.
Here?
Yep. Now look over here. You've got 12.03 in stock analysis, but nothing in BotTrader core. See it? See it? Up a little higher. Here, let me show you the mouse.
Oh yeah, I see.
Stock analysis has 12.03. BotTrader core has nothing. All we do is do this. We make sure it's the same version because we want to be cool, right? The cool kids have the same version of packages in all their projects in the solution, and we click install. Go ahead and do that. So that's going to install Newtonsoft references to the Newtonsoft package. Go ahead and click OK. Finished. Now, if we go back to the code, that should take care of, in custom tick, should take care of the Newtonsoft problem. We have Bittrex now, okay? Over here, notice the tab that says NuGet Solution. That's what you get when you right-click here and say Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. That comes up. Next, what's installed? Well, we've got Bittrex.net. It's in stock analysis, but not in BotTrader core, which is still checked. So let's go ahead and install it here.
Okay.
And if we do that, I think it's going to get all the other dependencies. And all of them will be there. So it says attempting to gather dependencies. So now it's saying, look, I'm going to install all of these. So go ahead and say, I accept. And it's going to go do everything it needs to get those references. Now, if we close this, it says it's finished. So go ahead and close this down. Click that X up there. Good job. And now if we click on every single one of these installs, we should see over on the right, we should see that it's installed. We have the same versions in both stock analysis and BotTrader core all the way down. Mm-hmm. Is that true? Just use the up and down arrows. It'll be faster to look, and then you can keep your eyes on the right while you do that. It looks like it's there. I'll move the mouse out of the way so we don't get those hands. Is it correct all the way up and down?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there they are. Not changing at all. At least from each other. They're the same. Sweet. Good. Now let's go back and we can close this down. And now our Bittrex is working here too. Okay? Which is cool. Now we can create a custom tick passing in a Bittrex tick. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Got that. All right, cool. We got some issues here. Can't find stock data point in our chart translator. Well, I guess what I think we should do with our chart translator.
Move it up to BotTrader core?
Yeah, move it. Yeah, we're physically moving it up, but I like to think of it as down. We're moving it to a lower level. Yeah, move it down to Bot Trader 4 core. Because it should only work with low-level stuff. Now, I think there was one point we passed a canvas down, so we might have a problem there. But let's go see. What do we do when we move something down? Do you remember what we need to do with it?
Yes.
Make sure you're in the right one.
Ah.
There you go. Good job. All right. See the system windows? All of this?
Uh-huh.
That's all garbage. That's all from WPF. We definitely do not want our chart translator to know anything about that. Okay?
Because it's lower down.
Yeah. In fact, look at this. We got a bunch of errors already. Whatever we've got should not be here. So this add moving average call, no, thank you. Okay. Is anybody calling this thing? Nobody's calling it right now. I say we just comment it out for now. Okay. Later we can figure it out if we want to do it, but I didn't have, this is all a let's rewrite this thing. What else do we have in here? Get moving average is in here as well. Anybody calling this? We do have calls here. It's returning points. I want to create our own point. I think. What do I want to... Fat Bertha 80 is following. Thanks, Fat Bertha, to follow. I'm not sure what I want to do with point here. The reason why is because if I want to get access to a point that's already out there, Campbell, I have to basically use at a reference to things that do drawing. I really don't want to necessarily do any drawing. What am I going to do on that? Where is point? Is it just in Windows? Is that going to help me out at all? Yeah, it's not in Windows. Windows dot what? No, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to create my own point. That's what I'm going to do. So we create my own point. Why don't you do it, Campbell? Create a point that can hold an X and a Y. Make them both doubles.
Okay, so this will just be...
You're trying to figure out the name of the class?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it. Make it point X, Y if you want. That way it won't collide with the other names. Cool. And create property, give it two properties.
Yes. Ah. And do you want any default values or no? Well, what are you gonna do with this point? Or where are we gonna use it?
I want these to be properties, auto-implemented properties. I'm gonna use this anywhere we need a point to graph. Yeah. To make them auto-implemented properties, it's just AD. Auto-implemented double like that. X, like that. And then give me a duplicate line on that one right there and turn it into a Y for me. Good. Give me a constructor that takes an X and a Y and initializes these two values. And there's an easy way to do that with CodeRush. It's CC for constructor create. And then you want to choose select all so we initialize.
Oops. Ah.
Control home will get you to the top of the file. You want to hit backspace and then the space. I think you have the shift key down.
sorry. I
So
didn't
spacebar
realize.
can toggle all those. Just the spacebar is faster.
Oh, I thought it was enter. Or...
All right, good. Good. Okay, cool. Point XY is done. Okay. Next, let's move to its own file. Good. Let's clean up some of those areas. Let's see. We've got point XY in here. Now what we want to do is use that wherever we had point before. Okay? So this is going to return back a list of point XY.
Ah.
Okay?
Yes.
What else are problems inside this space? Lines. Draw a line. Well, we don't want to draw a line in here. That's all low-level stuff. I don't care about that. What else? This is going to be a list of point XY. Like that. So fixing those two. I'm not understanding this problem here. Where are we? Oh, we're here. Here's my stock data points lock. Yeah, I don't want to use locks anymore. I think instead what I want to do is get a copy of the data. So remember what the lock was for, Campbell?
No, I don't.
The lock is to prevent two different entities from modifying this list while I'm iterating this list, right? So if you give me like a box of shoes and you say, hey, for every shoe inside here, I want you to see if it's tied, and you're going through the box, and somebody else is putting shoes in the box and taking them out of the box while you're trying to go through and do that, that's hard to do. You might go reach for one shoe, and as you're reaching for it, somebody takes it out and it's gone when you went to go to grab it.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So what a lock does is it says only one person can access this list at a time. Right?
Okay.
Another way to solve this problem is by creating a copy of the data. By saying, I'm going to copy this data, and now you work with this copy. And now if I'm working with a copy, in other words, if we clone every shoe, if we make a duplicate of every shoe in the box, it doesn't matter if somebody else is adding or subtracting from that box. Because you've got your own copy. They're not going to mess with you. They're going to be messing with another box. Right? Make sense? So I'm kind of leaning towards a copy. At first, copies are scary to developers because they imagine it's going to take a long time. But we've got pretty fast machines, and it's going to save us some other kinds of headaches if we do it. And we can do cool things like, give me this range of data, but I only want like 250 points. Or I want 1,000 points. You can specify how much data you want, and it can fill in or subtract based on what you're asking.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lock anymore here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do I'm going to make a call here. I'm going to create a local variable here if I can, called stock data points, and I'm going to say and I'm going to make a call to say get stock data points, and it's going to make a duplicate. Okay?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to iterate through that duplicate. Okay? And so what we want to do is we want to go to our list right here. And what is there? Is there a method on here that can clone? Well, there's an add range. So what I can do is I can say return new list of stock data points. That's going to create my new list. I'm going to introduce a local for it. Call it result. And then down here I'm going to call result.addRange. See that right there? Why don't you just go ahead and select that? And then open paren and then paste what's on the clipboard in. And then semicolon. And this, what addRange does, it adds everything in the range. Later we can add something like an integer parameter like number of points and a range, a start and an end time, that sort of thing. Okay? Number of points and then maybe start time, end time, all of that. Start and an end.
Yeah.
Like that. We can add those later. Max points is maybe what I should have called that. Max points. Okay? Just put a comment here for now. We'll put those in there later. We might do that. But right now, it's just going to make a copy of it. Okay? What's wrong here? Get stock data points. List of stock data point. Oh, this should be a list. Okay. All right. What other problems do we have? Okay. Point XY. It's needing a list of point XY inside of chart points. Okay. So let's go inside there. It's going to be a list of point XY. Okay. What's really cool is because we gave the variables the same X and those, because you declared those auto-implemented properties, X and Y. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Right here. Remember this?
Yes.
Because you declared those two, right? This code doesn't need to change because they have the same name. So that's the only change we need to make. And now what's super cool about that is now we've moved our chart translator down below. Is this going to build? It looks like I got no errors. If that builds, that's awesome. Because all that other crap that we had in chart translator that I commented out, we weren't using at all. Right? All the stuff that relied on Canvas, it was all stuff we didn't want.
Excuse your face, sir.
Sorry, did I say a bad word? Did I say something bad?
Oops. Sorry, I pressed my screen.
What'd you hit?
I
Oh,
went to my
exactly.
screen.
All right, well, I'm not going to swear anymore. I won't say any more swears.
Fine.
Okay, don't be so excited about it.
Fine.
Okay, all right, okay. Oh my God, at least I've been doing it. I'm going to go back and write some good code now.
Wow. Just wow.
Okay.
It seems like Mr. Announcer Bot has something he wants to say.
Never mind.
Are you sure?
Nothing.
All right.
Okay, back to the code.
Don't you want to say something at all?
Don't ask.
All right, fine. Okay, back over to the code. Should we go back to the code, Campbell?
Yes.
Back to the code.
All right, back to the code. Can we run it? The build?
It did build.
So what we're looking for are some prices and graphing. And is it working? It looks like it's working.
Yes. It appears.
And even the even our visualizations below look like they're working as
The
well.
moving averages.
Yeah, the moving averages.
Oh, well.
All right, now we're ready to create a test project. You ready for that, Campbell?
Yeah.
All right. To do this, we need to stop this and right-click and say create a new project. We're going to go find a unit test project to add to it. Right-click the solution up at the top. Add. It's the add menu. Right about there. There you go. New project. Search for templates. Oh wait, there it is. Unit test project. .NET framework. Hold on. I want to see if they've got NUnit out there. I kind of like working with NUnit. It's there. Whoa! What was that? Oh, there it is. .NET Core though. I don't want that. I want .NET framework. No, this is MS Test. Okay. We'll just do the regular one then. Okay. And then we're going to call this Bot Trader Tests. What do you think, Campbell?
Yeah.
All right, can you click create for me? What'd you say?
That's a good name. Bot Trader Test.
Okay, cool. Campbell says, good name.
That worked.
Did we lose our music?
It's gone.
Let's bring it back. Okay. Bot Trader Test. We need to add a reference to one of the two other packages in here. Which one?
I would assume Bot Trader Core.
Your life depended on that answer, and you got it right. That's very lucky. Go ahead and add a reference to it. Nope, it's a right-click. Right-click on references. I don't think you'll see it here. You have to right-click on the references of Bot Trader Tests. There you go, add reference. Good. Good. Got our first test method here. I'm feeling something like this. New. You can take a Bittrex tick into it. Can I create a new Bittrex tick here? I don't think I can until a Bittrex ticket won't be able to see until I add the right NuGet solutions to it. If I come in here, I don't think it's going to get it. Yeah, see it just says declare class?
Yeah.
It doesn't know what a Bittrex tick is. To solve that, what you want to do is you want to come in here, right click solution again, and choose manage NuGet packages for solution. And what you want to do now, see what's, yeah, you want to do that. You want to get, essentially, there you go, get those pieces for sure. I don't know if you need Newtonsoft here. I don't know if we're going to do any serialization. Yeah, we are, because we're going to be able to bring in the test. So you're going to have to get Newtonsoft in there too. No, that's not it.
What?
There it is, the black icon there. It's installed already. Sweet. Looks like you got everything. Okay, cool. Maybe you just got everything. No worries. Go ahead and we can close that down. Solution CD asterisk right here needs saving. Let's just click that button right. Whoops. That button right there to save everything.
Just everything and all
Yeah.
of the.
Okay. Close that down. All right. Now go back to Bittrex Tit and hit Control Dot on it. And then choose that option using Bittrex. Cool. Now
Control
we're
dot
creating-
it does the same thing as the
What'd you
insert
say?
key, right?
What?
Control dot does the same thing as the insert key, right?
Yes, it does. So I'm going to go to Bittrex tick and I'm going to say, hey, ask rate is equal to $10. And I'm going to say the bid rate is what? $11?
Sure.
I asked 10, I bid 11, and then I'm going to say
The trade rate.
the price or the last trade rate is equal to
10.5.
Okay, cool. $10.5. And then we're going to say
Oh, it's an int. Never mind.
what? No, it can't be that. I think it is. It's not that it's an int. It is that it's a decimal. And a decimal uses the M. The way you can remember that is M is for money. Decimals are for money. Okay. So we're going to say. Just like F for float. Remember
Yeah,
that?
I was about to say, just like in Unity, how you had to use F
Yeah.
for float.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
cool.
they use floats.
And then I'm going to say symbol is equal to, we'll just say BTC-USDT. Okay? So the symbol for this particular exchange is going to be an exchange from Bitcoins to US dollar in the tethered USDT coin. Okay? Then I'm going to create a custom tick like that says using Bittrex tick as the initializer. Now what I want to do is come down here and say AE for assert equal. My expected value is going to be 10, and I'm going to test which of these do I want to have be 10.
Oh, ask rate. Lowest ask price.
Okay? Then I want another one, and I want to check against 11. What do I want to be matching to 11?
Highest bid rate, I think it's called, or bid price.
Okay? Good. Then I want a 10.5.
Last trade price.
Okay?
Wait.
I might want to make this an M here. Because if I don't, it'll be a different type, and they may not actually say they're equal. I don't know if they will or not. We'll test that. Okay? And then I want one more, and I want to match with the string BTC-USDT. Like that.
And that's for symbol.
And that's symbol. And we've got our first test case. You ready to give it a run?
Yes.
Give it a run and see if it works. Ah,
Yeah. I think you might have been right.
try again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Passed.
All right. This is, by the way, so now at this point in the stage of our architecture, there are some good things and some bad things. The bad things is that, as with typically with, when you're developing user interfaces, you tend to have a lot of heaviness in the main window. The main window is heavy, but we're lightening it up. We're making it lighter, right? Also, the other piece that's interesting about it that tends to happen is that your main app, which was this one, gets heavy. But we lightened it. We moved 3 files out of here. We moved those down to the bot trader core, right? We created a test case. So the heaviness is the downside. Now we're working to address that. We're going to create our own custom control. So we can pull it out and just drop in a sharding control anywhere we need it. Okay? We're working to make this really good, this architecture. But so it's got good and bad right now. On the good side of things, the fact that we've created our first test case and ran it, that's huge. Because now adding new test cases is
It's
easy.
easier.
Right? It's easy. So we've done this great thing. We might want to give this a better name, like call this our custom tick tests, something like that. Custom tick tests. And we can create a chart translator tests, all those kinds of things we can do. Cool. I think we're going to also need, well, let's go into main window. I want to look at what happens when we load up. do the test. See this line of code right here? These two lines of code. See that? It takes a file name and grabs all the stock data points in it.
Oh, yeah.
I want that somewhere else. Like, the first thing I'll do is I'll extract it to its own method, right? Get stock data points from file. Okay? Like that. Right now we're saving only stock data points out as a list. What if, before we did a whole bunch of these, we decided, oh, you know what? Maybe we'll put that list in a class so we can get a little more information in that. And the reason I'm saying this is if we stick it in a class, adding more stuff to it later is easy. But if we do this now and we don't, and we just have a whole bunch of lists, it's hard now to add properties to this if we wanted to store additional data with that list. For example, we might want to store maybe something that has like the date and time when the list was collected, right? We might want to store the, let's see, well, actually that date is kind of already down in the data point. I don't know, it's a gut feeling I'm having, Campbell, that what we want to do is we want to create a class rather than a list. But since I can't justify it now, maybe we won't do it. And you seem pretty quiet on it, so it sounds like you're not.
Sorry, mine's a bit fuzzy.
As to what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a picture so you can see it. Switch over to my machine. Always good to say, hey, can I see a picture of this? What you're thinking, Dad? So it looks like this. Right now we have X and Y pairs. We have, so the file, well, that's not true. Right now the file's got, sorry, I was totally, it's got our custom tick is what I think we're calling it, right? And it's got a whole bunch of these. Let's make sure I called it that. That's what I called it. Yeah, custom tick is what we called it. Okay? So right now it's got just a whole bunch of these custom ticks in a row. And that's what the file looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the file. But I guess what I'm wondering is, instead of storing that, what happens later on if we want to add an additional property to it, right? Some additional data, right? If we want to create additional data and add it on here, we can't do it in this file format without breaking it.
Yeah.
But what if these guys were all children of something, and that child, hold on a second, let me change the background color of this. And that was stored in a class, like this. And then now if we have additional data, it's just a property of that class, and we just can add to it as whatever we want. This is more flexible. What I'm worried about is what happens if I start creating like hundreds and hundreds of these files, right? And then later I decide, oh, I want to add some data to it. Well, I'm screwed with all of these, and I have to write code to now see, is it this kind of a file or is it that kind of a file?
Yeah.
I can save myself some time later. If I know I'm going in this direction, I can save myself some time later by planning for it now, by changing this up, by taking these custom ticks and adding them as a property of a larger class
Okay.
that we save.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I don't know. And basically where I was going with it is, since I don't really know for sure I'm going to do this, maybe I don't need to think ahead too much on it. I don't need to worry about it. Okay, so now we've got get stock data points. Wait, is that the one we have? No, it's this other one. Get stock data points from file. That should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about either putting it in stock data point, which is kind of cool, because then I could just call as a static method stock data point dot get from file, get all from file. I'm thinking about playing there because it's let's do it there for now, and if we decide to move it later to another helper class, we can do that. All right, so we'll put it in right about there. We're not going to make it private; it'll be public. We use systems.generic. We'll use file as well, system.io. And we're going to call this get all from file, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. And then we might, and then, all right, so let's go. Yeah, just come up with a reason to take this and put it in a class.
Which is? It has to do with creating an extension method. I'm not sure if I can create an extension method for a list of stock data points. Let me see if I can do that or not. I don't know if I can do that. Remember extension methods where we can kind of create methods for things that don't already exist? Yeah.
Right? So we're going to create an extension method for, let's see if we can do it. Say this, it might work. List of stock data points, points. If this works, then I don't need to, but I was thinking this might be a problem, but it looks like this is going to work. So we're going to call this save. So we create a method called save, and I'm going to pass in a file name. Okay?
Yeah.
And what'd you say?
Yeah.
And now that I've done that, we should be able, over here, see points in range? We should be able to call save. Sweet. Giving it a file name. All right, cool. We're cool. We don't need to break it into its own object yet. Full path to file. So I'm going to get full path to file, save all of those out. The save is going to be these two lines of code that I just cut to the clipboard. So let's go back into save here, pop it in there. We're going to call this maybe my extensions. So we'll have a set of extension methods. Let's move that to its own file. There it is right there. Okay. This is file name. And this is going to be points. Sweet. That's really awesome. So now this method, what that allows us to do is over here, look at this code, how it's simplifying right here, right? I get the file name, I save it. Now we need to get it, we need to load it. So the load currently looks like this. Stock data point dot get all from file. That's our load. and it returns this. You're quiet. Is your brain fuzzy? What are you thinking?
Not quite sure I understand what you're doing, or I guess why you're doing what you're doing.
Well, making the codes easier to read. Easier to read is good. What's this code do? Do you know what this code does? Do you remember this?
Yeah, it's a code that basically it just tells us whether or not the selection was saved.
Well,
Or sorry, it saves it and then
It
tells us.
saves the selection, loads the selection, checks to make sure the data coming back is the same,
And then it tells us.
calling R equal. It's kind of like a test case. It's a little bit like a test case.
Yeah, but when you run, it tells us.
What'd you say?
But instead of running it separately, it's when we start up the app.
Yeah, when we click, we hit the button, and it says test selection, it does this.
Yeah.
So what the question is, you were saying you're not sure why I was doing what I'm doing. Remember we had like about 6 or 7 more lines of code here? Now
Yeah.
it looks like this. Get the file path, save, then load everything back up. We could rename this to load if you wanted to. Right? Save the data, load the data back, then check the two. Right? Call this loaded data maybe. I still hear you quiet on this, loaded data.
No, I understand now. I get it.
So that's what I'm trying to do. The points in range right here, we're going to get the points in the range, going to the chart translator, so give me everything in that range in the selection. We could rename this to say selected points. Just trying to make this easier to read. Okay? Here you go, look, selected points.save.
Yeah.
We could call that loaded points. Make that instead of data, loaded points. How are we doing there? Are you liking that better?
Yes, this makes much more sense.
Yeah. So what I love about this is anytime we have a selection of points, we can save it out to a file just by calling .save on it. That's done for us by that extension method right here that takes in a list of stock data points and a file name and then serializes them out and writes all that out to the file. It's really nice. Okay, so what this also means now is that I think we should get some test data out. We should move this to its own test case where we load from, but instead of getting get points in range, we start by loading one file and then we save to another. And then load that other back and compare it with the ones we loaded in the first time. That will test the round trip saving and loading.
Yes.
Okay? So to do that, let's run the app. Let's give this a different name. We're going to call this, maybe I'll call it 5 points.json. And you're going to select 5 data points. And when we come in here, we'll set a breakpoint, make sure we've only got 5 in there. Okay?
Okay.
And then, so that's what we'll do. Oh, wait. You don't want it to be get file path. I want it to be, I want something different here. I want to call this get test file path. Because I want to put this in my test folder. Okay?
Yeah.
Just get file path. Let's find it.
KidzCode, where are you? We need your help.
You need your help today, Genescu7.
Oh, not Aron.
There he is, coming in with the letters. Nobody can destroy the letters. Oh my goodness, what?
Here.
What happened to my head? Give us a child actor. All right, what are we doing here differently? Here's get file path. I want get test file path. What changes down here? Can you make this method work for me?
Here, all we have to do is just do this. Will this work or no?
You're down in Bot Trader Court, has no reference to the main window, doesn't know about it. Don't forget, we're passing it in, right? Look at what we're passing in. This, see that? I copied this code from here, and I just gave it the right name. But it's because I copied it, things need to be fixed.
Oh.
So see what you can figure out, just change and fix. Good. That's one thing. There's another thing that needs to be changed to fix this.
Oh, you just need to get rid of this, right?
No, I still need that one. That's still going to work. That's going to give me a file on the application path. I want something to get me a test file name on the test case folder path. There are two paths that we're tracking down in here, application path and test case folder. There you go. That's the second piece. Good job. Good. Okay, good. So get test file path is going to get that for me. That means if this works and we run and we get 5 points and put it in there, what that means is we are going to be able to reference this forevermore in, as long as we don't overwrite the file in our test cases. So let's go ahead and run, collect 5 data points, select them, hit the test selection button. After you get those 5 points selected. Dennis27, how are you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. We need some data. Need somebody to buy or sell some Bitcoin for us. There you go. A little bit of a buy just occurred there. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
Good. Test selection. Okay, hit up, hover over selected points on line 470. 5. Sweet. Good. Full path to file. Hit F10 there.
5.
Look at by the way the path. See it? Test cases right there. Good. So the code you wrote worked, and there we go.
5.
We've got our equals. Now go ahead and run it, and we can pretty much stop the app too. At this point, we can stop the app. All right. So now we've got that file out there. Let's create the test case that now works with this. It's going to basically, we need to do this, and then I'll copy these lines here. Where's the test? Here it is, here. Create a new test class, I think. Can you do that for me? Give me a new test class. Do you remember the shortcut?
Just TC, right?
That can work. Also, T alone will work. Let's call this, I'm going to call it serialization tests. Okay? And then we're going to say test save load. And now, by the way, this here, I don't ever want to execute this again because I don't want to overwrite it. So this, I'm going to go back here to call it test 1 or 2 or 3 or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if we overwrote it, we'd have different data in it. So I'm going to say full path to file is equal to that. Then I'm going to say I want to load it up. Like that. And then I want to say assert equal 5 with loaded points.count. I want to make sure I get 5 points. That would be a really good test. Okay? Then I want to say, okay, let's take my loaded points and let's save it to a different file, a different one this time. So we'll call this one our 5 points file. And we're going to call it our test save file is going to be something different. 5 points test save. How about that? Okay?
Yeah.
And then we
Okay.
might do this too. We might say, hey, look, if file dot use system.io, if file dot exists, if the test save file exists, then let's say file dot delete. Let's make sure we get rid of it. Okay, for the test. Okay. Just getting the name here, checking to see if it's already exists. If it now,
Yeah.
at this point, I'm going to save those loaded points out to my test save file. All right? You
Yes.
following this so far?
Yeah.
So first
far.
test is, do we have 5?
Yeah. And then.
Then I want to save them. Then I want to load the new save file with pieces in. We're going to call this the new loaded points in, and that's going to load from the test save file. Then I want to check to make sure they're equal. Hold on a second. We have a method, r equals, here, see this? See that method?
Yeah.
Since I've now discovered I can create an extension method for a list of things, I'm going to go to my extensions. Watch this. It's going to really sweeten up the code because it's going to be much easier to read. Create a new method here called, maybe, can I do equals? I don't know if that's going to override anything that already exists out there or not. Let's see. What's it say here? Extension method must be static, of course. All right, equals. Looks like it's going to work. So see that? And because it's an extension method, that means I can now go back over here, and this code looks like this.
Yeah.
Dot equals. See that?
Uh-huh.
Now because that's there, and because the extension method is down in the core, I can go back to my tests, and I can say, assert true, that the new loaded points equals the loaded points. That's my test case. Okay?
Okay.
Let's see what happens if we run that test. Where did we fail? On the last one. All right, let's debug it. That's weird. I tried to step into it, and it didn't let me step into it. It's as if it's not using the right equals. It's not using the right equals. Because there's already something called equals. See it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what we need is something, a different word. Matches. That's what we need. Let's go to my extensions, change this to matches. Okay, then I want to go to main window and do the same thing here, matches. Okay, now we've got, I'm just tapping the next reference. Now I think we got a shot that this is going to work. Good, it passes. All right, we've got 2 test cases. Let's do something else. Let's go take loaded points. And let's modify one of the entries in it. Let's set time equal to now. And now I want to do a test to see if matches. And now am I expecting this to be true or false?
False.
So what do I want to assert for?
Assert dot is false.
Right, so do you remember the shortcut for that? And then paste it in. It's on the clipboard, go ahead and paste it. Okay, so we're just gonna make one change in it,
and we're expecting this to not be false. All right, go ahead and run it.
Oops, wrong thing.
Yeah, sorry, ruined the test case on that.
Ah. It's not closing.
Really? Interesting. Lock. We've got a lock. The lock is coming from here. See that? Get data points, we're calling add range. It's being changed while we're adding it. So we need to do our lock here. We need to do the lock on stock data points lock right there. And then we'll get it right back. So we just do this real quick move to give you a copy, and we lock during that time. I'm pretty sure that's the problem. I know that probably was like really like, you're like, wait, what, Dad? How do you know that's the problem?
A little bit.
But I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay, so that's the problem why it wouldn't close down. We want to go back to our trader test. This is what we want to run right here. Run that test. Hoping that passes. Good, it passes. So they match, we make a small change, they don't match. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we can keep doing this right here, where we can go back and reload it, go back, make sure it matches again, make a different change now, just to make sure everything is being tested, right? We're going to change weight is equal to 0, or is equal to, we'll just say weight plus plus, like that. And then now what line of code do we expect to put after here to test? Do we expect it to match or not?
No.
So we want that, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to come back. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to load it up again. Assert that they match. Make a change. I guess I could also, since we've done this, we don't really need that part of the test. So I'm just going to load it up, make a small change, and assert that it's false. Load it up, make a small change again. What are we going to change next? We've done time. We haven't done work with tick yet. So we're going to say tick that highest bid price. I'll just do we'll just say plus equals 0.000001. Like that. Okay? Just make the smallest little change. Right? We still want it to be assert false.
Yeah.
Before it's got to be match, and afterwards it doesn't. So we're going to do that. Copy that. Come down again. Do the same thing. After highest, we're going to do last trade rate. We're going to make the smallest little change. We'll make sure we detect that too. Okay. This also speaks to kind of what you were talking about before. You were saying, I think we might have a bug with the code that is truncating off these zeros, right? Remember that? It's kind of like that. It's like we're going to go in and make the smallest little change. We want to make sure that we detect it. We're only doing it in one of these. We could also come down and say, oh, you know what, instead of doing it in the first one, let's do it in the last one. Or let's do it in the third one. Or let's do it in the second one, right? So we're just kind of really sampling all over the place to make sure that this is really going to work. And then out of this, it's symbol. And symbol, I'll say is, we'll say plus equals. And we'll add just a little dot at the end. Okay? And we'll check in number 1. Make sense? So we're going to make sure that they're all false. So we're still hoping this should theoretically pass. If it passes, that's great news. What'd you say, Campbell?
Theoretically. Yes! Not theoretically.
We're going to say it actually is. All right, good. We got 10 minutes left of the show. I think this is maybe a good break time.
Okay.
Good time to stop. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, let's check in the code. We actually did some good things today, right? We added test cases. We refactored. We brought things down into the core, right? So they made more sense. Hold on though. We have a problem. I want to fix the problem before we go any further. Stock analysis is here. These other pieces are not in with it. I want to move them in so they're in the same folder, okay? So that, because we're not seeing those changes here. Okay, we're not seeing those other pieces. So to do that, I've got to remove this project. Remove it. I've got to remove the test project as well. Okay? Yeah, save for sure. Okay? Then I need to take both of these and move them into stock analysis. I think that's where we are. Can't do it because the file's open in another program. I bet it's this one. Let's close this.
No, save.
Try again. All right, cool. Stock analysis. Now come back over here. We're going to see it. There we go. Sweet. Okay, that's what we're looking to see. Next, but we're not done because I have to go back, open the project back up again. And with the project open, I need to re-add those projects back in manually. Existing project, we need to go to stock analysis and go into Bot Trader Core, grab that, and there's my core, add existing project, stock analysis, Bot Trader tests, like that. Do a rebuild of everything. I think we need to re-add references, because the project references are broken when I remove them, I bet. So this is going to use the core, not test. It doesn't need to use test. Test is going to add a reference here. It's going to reference the core, not the main window. And that might be all we need. Let's try rebuild. One failed. What's my fail? What is this? File common current version targets? What? I don't even understand that. The project reference NuGet packages are missing on this computer. Okay, so we're going to do a NuGet package restore. Let's go in here, manage NuGet packages for solution. All right. Looks like they're all here. MS test adapter props. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. How to do a Let's see if this link helps us. Let's see if these options are set. So Tools, NuGet Package Manager. Let's see if we have those options set. Tools, Options, NuGet Package Manager. Yep, we have those options. What is that going to do for me? Try to clear it. Can't be because it's being used by another process. Is it actually this one? Let's try to build one more time. Nope. Let's close. Start Visual Studio. I won't load the project, and we'll try to just go into that tool option one more time, clear the cache, see if that works. Cleared. Okay, that looks like that worked. Now, reopen. Got two here, they're cut off in terms of the name. Oh, I see, here it is right there, stock analysis. Rebuild. Same problem it looks like. Thanks, KidzCode. We got to do a NuGet restore, package restore apparently. I don't know how to do that, KidzCode. So that's what we're looking for right now, trying to figure that out. That says the quick solution, that didn't work. You move the project. Yep. Use one or more than the following methods to restore it. Edit the file directly to update the package references. Really? Let's start on down here. Unload project. Opens it up. And the file was something it said it was. I think this is being cropped off. Oh, wait, that wasn't the message that we were looking at. Let's see, the folder, I think it was the same as this, is what it was. It's only in those two places. Well, that's not happening. Let's manual restore. The package restore options. Yeah, we've done that. Right? We've done that. We've checked tools, options. Yeah, we've done that. Package sources. Okay. Oh, there's an option to restore by right-clicking. All right, let's try that. It says right-click the solution. Let's try it. There it is. That's not a good message.
Uh-oh.
What's your uh-oh?
Only 2 succeeded.
0 failed.
But 0
Something
failed.
succeeded, but I don't like those warning messages.
And
So
still
if we-
only 2 succeeded, and there were 3.
Oh, instead of 3, I see what you're saying. Well, it could be 2 that the one was skipped. Yeah, so it's still working. Oh,
I thought it
Bot
also
Trigger
said
test is
0
unloaded.
skipped.
Reload project. Maybe that's related to the problem. Restore NuGet packages. Okay, this is nothing to do. Let's do a rebuild of the solution. Oh, this is, look at this. Use NuGet package restore to download them. That's the test one. And I was like, yeah, I did it. Restore NuGet packages. All packages already installed. Oh, that's crazy. We could do this. We could grab all of these like this. Come on, I'm trying to multi-select all these. Why can't I do that? I can't multi-select. All right, fine. We can do this, and we can uninstall and then reinstall them. Let's try that. Do the same thing with Newtonsoft. Uninstall it. Trigger test. Look at this, it's still installed, even though we said uninstall it. Yeah, there's definitely a problem. It's really a good idea, apparently, to get the folder right. MS test adapter, uninstall. Don't show this anymore. Try to move a little faster here. Let's get these. Crypto Exchange, uninstall, or maybe not. You only need it for the tests. Hopefully got that one right. I'm not like destroying things left and right now. What's my rebuild look like now? Okay, Bittrex doesn't know that. Let's go add that. We need to add that to the core and do this. Those two pieces. Interesting. So, because it is already in all of those. So that's in there. Why is Crypto Exchange? See, it's not. All right, let's go browse. Maybe I missed. There's something I took out on this. Bittrex.net. Install it. Put it in the core as well, and in the test. Are we getting closer, Campbell, or not? I still see errors down here, but what's going to happen if I rebuild it now? MS test adapter. It's in the bot trader test is the problem. Nothing to do. Oh, it's crazy. All right, so does this mean we can't run our test cases? I bet it does, because it's. Oh wow, look at this. So Bittrex.net, it doesn't know where it is. It can't find it. Let's go find it. Bittrex.net. Include it. It's going up one folder, then to packages, where it's looking for it. Let's go look at compare that with the folder out here. Packages is here. There's Bittrex.net. So that feels correct. Like it should be able to find it there. This is the main folder. You find that. I'm going to copy that, write it down. Yeah, I'm a little worried about these icons here. I think they're part of the warnings that we're getting. I think this is going to take more time, Campbell, than I thought it would to solve this. I think we're going to have to take a break and go try to fix this, and then after that we'll check in the code. I think we should not check in the code till we get this working, and we need to kind of figure that out. I think this place we're in kind of happened when I moved those packages, and I think those packages had dependencies on a relative folder structure, and we broke those when I moved them. Does that make sense? So in the future, when we create new projects, we want to make sure it's put in the same folder so we can check in like we want to check in. So we're close, but not quite perfect, because the packages aren't right in terms of what they contain in them, because we've got all these errors. We need to get rid of them. So let's go after that. We'll do that offline. We'll get a rate going for right now.
Okay.
If you want to, you can start typing in what we've done and the changes. Just don't check it in yet. Okay?
We refactored, and what was the other thing we did? The other big thing? Oh, right.
Comment je peux savoir qu'il est par terre?
Okay.
All right, let me get a rate going over here.
Parce qu'il me faudrait un genre d'event pour savoir qu'il a été slippé. Ça, mon con, on va savoir où c'est quoi. En fait, il faut vraiment... Alors, l'idéal, peut-être qu'il faudrait aller chercher dans la doc, mais... C'est quand même complexe, quoi.
Okay, come on, kids. We'll see you. Come on, I'll be back next Friday.
Delete absolute location.